What's up, everybody? How we doing? Matt Modi here with OddsJam, here to just continue to give out my favorite bets, some best bets for the NFL weekend we have ahead of us. In this video, specifically looking at some NFL player props for this weekend using the OddsJam Positive Expected Value page. So, as of the time of this recording, we have a bunch of different stuff out for this game. We have just a regular betting preview looking at the lines and everything. We have best bets for each individual game using the OddsJam Positive EV page. I have player props where I used the OddsJam screen to specifically lock in some anytime touchdown score bets. I locked in one for each team. And then I also have some DFS plays out there as well. One thing I have not done yet is use the OddsJam Positive EV page to lock in some player props. Now, odds are constantly changing. So, earlier in this week, you might have found something that's no longer available. So I'm just going to pretty much every day try to come out with something for this weekend. So current bets for everybody to lock in. So that's everything kind of to expect on the OddsJam YouTube channel for these games. And then, of course, myself, if you want to find me on social media, you can at my Twitter handle, Jedi Modi, as you can see on the other side. Shout out to Star Wars back there. And then on Picket, where I post a lot of betting specific stuff, OddsJam_Matt. So let's get into it. Play number one that we're going to go ahead and lock in that I have already locked in here. As you can see, Brock Purdy, I should say the play first, under 0.5 interceptions. So doesn't throw an interception in this game. It is at plus 135 odds at Bet365. So let's chat about it. Number one, as I was showing you, I did lock this one in. I put 3/4 of a unit on this bad boy on Purdy not to throw an interception. So all of the math and the profitability for this bet is derived from these no vig odds that you see here that are currently priced just below plus 133, essentially just below that. So these odds are pulled from the sharpest sportsbooks in the world, the sportsbooks that consistently do the best job at pricing odds. One little secret of sports betting is that we all know that sportsbooks have different odds, right? It doesn't take experienced sports bettor to just look at FanDuel and DraftKings and say, oh, these odds are different. So with that in mind, some sportsbooks are better than others at pricing odds. Some are consistently more accurate. And that's kind of where all of the value is derived from. So OddsJam back-tested thousands and thousands of betting opportunities to determine what sportsbooks are consistently the best at pricing odds. So it's not anecdotal. It's not like, oh, I heard that FanDuel was really good. I heard that Caesars was really good. No, we have data over an extended large sample size period of time to tell us, okay, these sportsbooks are consistently the best. And that's what's pulled into these odds here. So all that data was calculated. They determined what sportsbooks were the best. They removed the VIG, which is just the juice that sportsbooks price odds. It's how they make their money. They charge a VIG. And then using a weighted average, spit out these no VIG odds that you see here, with the logic being, okay, if these X amount of books are the best at pricing odds historically, then we're going to use them to essentially set the market moving forward. So anywhere in which we can get more favorable odds on another book is going to be mathematically profitable. In this case, we're looking at Brock Purdy to not throw an interception against the Eagles. Now, I know he's been begging to throw one in his last two playoff games, at least. Watched a ton of, obviously, all of those games. Hasn't had one yet. He's been begging for a throw to get picked off. Hasn't happened yet. Maybe he will get lucky again against the Eagles. But regardless, the value is there. So plus 135 odds at Bet365. If you compare every other book and where they price it at, we are getting a really good price on this one. So the closest book is BetMGM at plus 130, but still not positive EV, right? Like if you weren't signed up for Bet365, which is becoming legal in more and more states, then you wouldn't have this positive EV play because BetMGM, it's not positive EV at plus 130. And then look around at every other book. You want to start with Pinnacle, known as the sharpest sports book in the world. Prices this at plus 118. If you remove the VIG, it's below plus 135. DraftKings is another sports book that is surprisingly good at pricing player props specifically. They price this at plus 115. If you remove the VIG, below plus 135. Basically saying plus 135 is higher payout, is more money than what all the other sports books are charging. So that's play number one, Brock Purdy under 0.5 interceptions. Play number 2, we're looking at A.J. Brown over 69.5 receiving yards. Had a very quiet game against the Giants. They didn't really need him to do much, like 3 catches for 22 yards, something like that. Was clearly annoyed. He wanted the ball more. As a receiver, you kind of expect that. So I do think that it makes sense why this play is positive expected value. The Eagles are probably going to target him a ton. Yes, the 49ers defense is incredible, but the one area in which they have had weakness recently is getting beat deep between Brown and Smith. The Eagles have awesome deep threats, awesome receivers. A.J. Brown going 70 plus is the positive EV play here. So it's minus 110 odds, again at Bet365, which I have locked in, as you can see right here. So I risked to win 3/4 of a unit on this one. So Brock Purdy, I risked 75. For A.J. Brown, I risked to win 75. That's kind of how I have my unit sizing for player props worked out. So this is the second play. Looking at the odds here, Pinnacle is at plus 128. DraftKings is at plus 130. Again, 2 books are close, Bet Rivers and Bet MGM. None of them would be positive EV. The rest of the markets, we see minus 130, minus 129, minus 130, minus 128, giving us a pretty good price here on A.J. Brown to go over 69.5 receiving yards. And then the last play, again in the Eagles 49ers game, we're looking at Brock Purdy over 219.5 passing yards. So this is another bet that I have locked in to win $75 on Caesars. So minus 103 odds is what Caesars is giving us. And again, let's look at the sharp sportsbooks. Pinnacle, the sharpest at minus 127. The other side of it at minus 104, heavily favoring the over. BetOnline, another sharp sportsbook that we use to kind of set the markets, essentially pricing this at minus 119. The other side of it at minus 109, pretty heavily favoring the over. We're getting it at minus 103, which isn't quite, but is close to even money. So the fact that both of these books are pretty heavily favoring it is a good sign for us. Making this my third and final pick for this video. Of course, make sure to subscribe to the OddsJam YouTube channel, as we will have a ton of more content out for these games right up until game time. So definitely make sure to subscribe. Other than that, please like the video, helps me out a ton. The more engagement, the better. And then of course, if you want to find me on the social medias, you can, as I mentioned, Twitter at Jedi Modai, Pickett, OddsJam _Matt. And that's it. So appreciate everybody watching and have a good one.